Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Okay. Hello everybody, hope you're going well. I am doing a Q&A today. I know, close your jaws. I know you're shocked right now because it has been that long. It hasn't felt that long for me because I do a lot of these sorts of Q&As, chatty, going lives and stuff over on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you should be, because that's where I'm hanging out when I'm not on YouTube once a week, once a fortnight. So I feel like I'm chatting with you guys regularly and answering questions and like having that dialogue back and forth. But I find that I don't get to do that as much here on the Roll Credits YouTube channel. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to do a Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me some questions. I'm going to start answering the sort of more movie related questions, and then towards the back end of this video we're going to get into more career and personal types of questions, so you can get to know me a little bit more and see what's going on with my life and all the things. We're just going to keep it real casual today. It's a Sunday afternoon for me right now. I'm just feeling relaxed. Don't really feel like thinking too much or doing too much. So thanks for asking me some questions, and I'm just gonna go for it. What are your pet hates when going to the cinema? Usually it's texting, people texting, even if your phone brightness is turned down all the way. In a completely dark cinema, you can still see someone's phone, especially when they're not being discreet. Like if someone has to really be discreet and put their phone down and send a quick cheeky text, that's one thing. But when someone's like got their phone up at eye level and like everyone behind them can see their screen, even if their brightness is down, that just bothers me so much. That's just simple cinema etiquette. What's your favorite movie from the 70s? The 70s, that's Alien era, right? So it would be Alien or Jaws. Jaws, absolute classic, changed the cinema, like blockbuster game. Favorite films from your home country? That's a good one. So favorite Australian films, I admittedly do not see all that many new Australian films, which is really shocking. It's something that I'm trying to work on, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Like Australian films come and go at cinemas so quickly. They don't usually have long runs, and yeah, they can be really hard to come by, which is such a shame. But in terms of Aussie cinema, I really have to stick with the classic peak Australian cinema of the 80s and 90s, when like the government incentives were just booming and so many amazing films were being made in that time, from like the original Mad Max to Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, to Muriel, to The Castle, all absolute classic Australian cinema. What is the movie that made you know things about yourself that you never knew before? I would say it would be a lot of movies that I saw around my teenage years. Most notably, I've talked about this so much, and if you're new here, welcome, because you'll be hearing me talk about this a lot moving forward, because I always bring it up. And this movie is The Lord of the Rings. I just saw it at the age of 12, so impressionable, and just I'd never seen a movie with a universe so richly built like it was in The Lord of the Rings. Sort of made me fall in love with movie magic for the very first time. And in terms of a movie that made me think things about myself that I'd never thought of before, that was that movie, The Lord of the Rings. Just complete game changer in terms of how I appreciated cinema and storytelling on screen. Have you seen The Lure? Yes, I have seen The Lure. It is a pretty wild and crazy, strange, bizarre Polish mermaid film. I reviewed it. I will leave a link if you want to hear my in-depth thoughts, or if you want to know more about the movie without spoilers. If you want to know what it's about, I'll leave my review. It's a strange one. Favorite Scorsese film? I would have to say, I mean, of course, most people would say Taxi Driver because, yeah, that's a classic. But for me, it would probably be The Departed. I think that is a fantastic remake of an Asian film and just absolutely nailed. I love that movie. Oh, this question goes really well with that question. Best Leonardo DiCaprio movie for you? And that would be, I would say, one of my favorite roles for him would be in The Departed. Maybe I'm somewhat biased because I love The Departed and think it's a fantastic movie, but Leo in that role in The Departed is so good. I just think he just fits it so well. But in terms of Leo's best kind of actor performance embodying, I think it could be The Revenant, which was pretty remarkable. But my favorite one, The Departed. Name a movie you love, a movie you hate, and a movie you hate the fact that you love. Sounds like a little rhyme there. I'm just gonna pick things like recent in my mind, like recently that I've watched from this year. A movie that I loved was The Death of Stalin. Not everyone loves that, but such a good black comedy. A movie that I hate, I would say recently I was really hating on Mute on Netflix with Alexander Skarsgård. I hated on that movie, and yeah, still a lot of resentment there for how terrible I think it was executed, and a movie that I hate the fact that I love. Well, only because I just saw this on TV the other day and was rewatching it. Like, it was one of those things where I'm flicking the channels and I just stopped and ended up watching the whole thing, and I was laughing and enjoyed it even though I probably shouldn't. And that is the first Hotel Transylvania. I know it's kind of silly, very, very silly and very childish, but I don't know why, but I really like it. Are you looking forward to Mary Poppins Returns? Is there any possible way it can hold up to the original? I would say that I'm not looking forward to it, but when I heard that Emily Blunt was cast as Mary Poppins, I pretty much changed my tune because I love her so much that if it was anyone else, I'd be skeptical, but because it's her, I'm optimistic. I think it's gonna be pretty good. Ooh, I like this one. If someone gave you $5 million to make a movie, what kind of film would you make? If I had $5 million to make a movie, I would love to probably make a heist film. I really like, doesn't have to be bank heist necessarily, no kind of Ocean's 8 shenanigans, but just some kind of robbery type, switch. What is it called when you misdirection type of movie where you think one thing's happening and then something else happens, where the audience is kind of playing catch up with the characters and the characters know more than the audience does, and then vice versa, and you're trying to piece together what's going on, and then before you know it, like, it reveals at the end that they've got away with it. Some kind of heist film would be cool. And then if I had $200 million, what kind of film would I make? For $200 million, we'd probably go to outer space. Probably make a heist film in outer space. Yeah, that's what 200 million would do. The exact same film, but set in outer space, or set in the future in outer space with like really awesome special effects and like production design. Yeah, that'd be cool. What's your Instagram? Well, I'm glad you asked. You can find me over at Instagram at Hello Roll Credits. And when I'm not here on YouTube, I'm over there hanging out. I post pictures pretty regularly, but I'm always doing Insta stories. I go live sometimes, and I'm on IGTV, which is the Instagram TV, which, by the way, I don't think is very popular at the moment. I don't think it's kind of taken off like Instagram hoped that it would. But yeah, I'm over there. I do movie cues over there quite regularly. So actually a lot of questions that I didn't get a chance to answer in today's video, I'm going to use as questions to answer as part of my movie cue episodes over on IGTV. So you can find me over there and watch me answer them more in depth. I kind of give 4 to 5 minutes per question and get like more meaty into answers. So tell us your top 5 animated movies other than Ghibli and Disney and Pixar. That is a challenging question. I Oh, that's really challenging. Okay, so other than Ghibli, if I would also want to think animated films that are anime, like out of Japan, I would have to pick a Hosoda film, probably The Boy and the Beast. Then I would have to pick Watership Down, which I have only ever seen once as a child, scarred for life, very affecting, very powerful, never seen as an adult, but incredible movie from what I remember. I would also pick Harvey Crumpet, which is an Australian stop motion film, short film, 20 minutes, but fantastic. I would also pick, Isle of Dogs, another stop motion from Wes Anderson this year, and I thought was brilliant. Probably a little bit long, but I loved it. I absolutely loved the mood and tone of it. Okay, so that's 4 films. I'm off the top of my head, I'm kind of struggling. An absolute mental blank. I'm having a mental blank. I can't think of anything else. I'm very sorry. Now I'm stuck on Wes Anderson in my mind. So I'm going to also say Fantastic Mr. Fox. Great question. That was really challenging because my go-to is always Ghibli and Disney and Pixar. So that was a good question. What do you think about VR, AR? What's AR? And all those new tech as storytelling platforms? I know what VR is. That's virtual reality. What's AR? Augmented reality. Okay, so VR, AR, and new tech storytelling. What do I think about it? I think that we are in such early stages. It is so early. Like, this is the pioneer stage of developing how this technology is going to impact storytelling moving forward in our future. And it's a really exciting time. I've seen some VR short films at the Sydney Film Festival. They have a VR corner and you can go and actually watch with the full headsets and headphones and go and experience VR short films. And they're it's very early, so they're not, I wouldn't say they're completely immersive, and I wouldn't say they quite get there for me, but it's exciting to see the potential, even just a little glimmer of potential of where it can go in the future. So yeah, I think we're in exciting times right now, and I am very curious to keep an eye on how that's going to go. Name a director you wouldn't mind helming your life. That is a great question. I think that Damien Chazelle could helm my life. I don't know why I just thought of him, but I feel like he gets the gritty, like, underside of things, but he can also do the shiny aspirational side, like the La La Land meets Whiplash. Not that either of those things represent my day-to-day normal life, but I'm sure he could find a way to make my life interesting in a movie, maybe. If anyone could do it, Damien Chazelle could. What are your top 3 casting choices in film history? The first thing that just came to my head just then was Leo and Kate in the Titanic. I think that they were very well cast. What's another great, so many like perfect casting choices. I would say Creed. Michael B. Jordan in Creed. Perfect casting choice. What else is something recently that it's just been absolutely perfect? Maybe Ray Fiennes in the Grand Budapest Hotel. I don't know why that one just came to me, but I thought that he was just perfect in that. All right. We did some movie questions. Now let's get into a bit more of the personal / career stuff. I know that I get asked this stuff a lot and I don't often answer it. And the reason that I don't answer it is because it deserves, a lot of these questions, in my opinion, deserve their own full video. It's really hard to answer them in a short, concise kind of way because I just get on huge tangents, especially when I talk about things like my job. What is your main job? So this is, there's so much I want to say, but if I was just to keep it short, my job, what I do, my 9 to 5, where I work full time, is for a production company. So I work in a film production office as a production coordinator. I'm assisting our producer, our executive producer, our directors on their shoots from a logistical side. So I'm in the office in the development and pre-production stage as we're going through the scripts, the locations, the castings, all that kind of stuff. And then when it comes to actually scheduling the shoot days, getting the crew together, getting all the permits and the licenses and all that kind of stuff. So a very logistical kind of support is my role. And then getting out on set on the day, working as a production assistant on set. So yes, that is what I do for my job. And I've said this before that I owe a whole video to talking about my job because I know a lot of you would find it very interesting what it's like working in a production office and seeing all the behind the scenes of what goes on and what goes into just how much goes into putting together a shoot. It is astronomical. The main bread and butter of my production company is commercial work. We do all kinds of commercials. I'll insert a few here as a reference so you can see some of the jobs that we've worked on this year.
Look around once they spot their favorites.
No. Us again.
RSPCA Pet Insurance can help.
It's just better out here, hey boy? All tracks lead to adventure.
A 30-second commercial can take up to 2 full 14-hour days to make. It is incredible with a crew of 40 people plus and budgets of upwards of 100,000 plus. I'm not going to go into that, but the amount of money and manpower to create a 30-second commercial that you're not even going to watch between TV shows, yeah, it's insane. It's fun, I love it, but it's insane. What made you want to become a YouTuber? I wanted to become a YouTuber. Well, I still barely classify myself as a YouTuber. I'm just somebody who talks about movies on the internet, but I did a whole video called My YouTube Story where I go in depth about how I got started in my YouTube channel 4 years ago now. So if you would like to check that out, I will leave a link to that because I go right in depth about starting my channel. If you were to describe your love life in a movie, what would it be? Explain. This is a fantastic question. Very loaded question. I saw a movie not that long ago which made me think it was the exact embodiment of a previous relationship, and I couldn't believe how spot on it was. And that was La La Land, except I was Ryan Gosling and my boyfriend at the time was Emma Stone. And there was no singing involved, but the story was very somewhat similar. What podcasts are you listening to? Okay, so I listen to a lot of podcasts because I commute every day on the train to and from work, and I love podcasts, like love. And my favorite genre of podcasts to listen to, apart from movie podcasts, of course, would be true crime podcasts. And there are a few that I am loving. Let me go into my phone, actually. Let me have a look at my phone. Okay, guys, that about does it. We are going to leave it there because I am tired. That is a lot of questions to answer and a lot of deep thinking. They're really good, challenging questions, some of them, and kind of tripped me up a few times, but I really enjoy doing something like that. Make sure you stay tuned. I have a big announcement coming up in the next few weeks. I'm not able to talk about it just yet, but I will be soon, and you guys are going to be so shocked. You're going to be shocked. Yeah, I'm still shocked, but it's going to be a really big life-changing decision. That's all I'll say. And you're going to be seeing me doing something in a whole different way. I don't know how else to say that, but it's really exciting. So I cannot wait to share that with you in the next few weeks. But apart from that, that is it from me for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you're not subscribed, you should be subscribed. So subscribe and stay up to date with all things movies and TV. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.